Welcome back. All right, 6 games tonight in the National Hockey League, and every game had its own personality. That's always entertaining, as you see. Took a lot of notes. Also, for wrestling fans, I didn't get to see Raw tonight, so if you're looking for the Raw review tonight, I didn't get to see it. But I did see highlights, and I'll probably do a video tomorrow on the Entertainment Guy about my feelings about a couple of surprises that took place tonight in the wrestling world. But let's talk about the hockey world for now. Ottawa in Washington against the Caps. Ullmark versus Thompson. Early press by Washington, and they would score early. At 1:41, McMichael taps one in close. Faravari and Dubois with the assist. There's a goalie interference challenge. That fails, so the Caps get a power play. I'm not sure why he challenged that. And then it becomes a minute and 21 seconds of 4-on-4. And during the 4-on-4, the Caps score again. It's Dubois bearing a net feed. McMichael and Sandin with the assists at 3:34. So 2 goals in the first 4 minutes, and they were both right in front of the net. Not much of a chance for Ullmark there. So after that, everything gets killed off. The Caps press after everything's done. Shots are 9-4 Washington at 5.5 minutes. Sens press at 9 minutes are kept to the outside. There's a crossbar for Ovechkin on a rush. He did not get a goal tonight, so he stays 11 away from breaking the record. The Caps go back to the power play. That's killed off. Then the Senators draw a power play, so the Caps kill that one off as well. There's a press by Ottawa with 2.5 minutes left. Ovechkin's denied. Ullmark holds. Senators press with 1.5 minutes left. And then we had a fight between Tkachuk and Wilson. So it's 2-0 Washington after the first. Second period. Early press for Ottawa. Early power play, I should say, for Ottawa. That's killed off. The shots are 5-0 Ottawa at 3.5 minutes. Gaudette can't bury one in close. Puck's cleared out. Too many Sens on the ice. The Caps go to the power play, and they score it. Wilson roofs one from the high slot. Dubois and Strome with the assists at 6:53. It's 3-0 for the Washington Capitals. Shots are 9-4, though, for Ottawa at 9 minutes. The Sens press with 8.5 minutes left, and on a rush at 12:18, Pinto buries a cross-ice pass. Sanderson and Giroux with the assists. Ottawa's on the board. It's 3-1. Caps press with 6 minutes left. Power play for Washington. That's killed off. Sens press with 1.5 minutes left. With 22 seconds left, Ottawa goes to the power play, so that rolls over into the third period. Score 3-1 in favor of Washington. But at 1:05, on a one-timer from the left circle, Giroux makes it a 1-goal game. Sanderson and Stützle with the assists. The Sens then press, looking to tie it at 3:30. Radish has a net feed this block. The shots are 2 apiece at 6 minutes. And then at 8:01, Pinto buries one from the doorstep. Amadio and Chabot with the assists. So that makes it 3-2 in favor of Ottawa. Caps press to respond. We get a power play for Ottawa. That's killed off. And then after, on a 4-on-2, Capitals get the lead back. Faravari at 12:43 from Wilson and Poitras. Or not Poitras. From, all right, I'm going to fix it. From Protas. All right, I fixed it on the board. It's Protas. And the reason that I would make a mistake like that is I had 2 hours of sleep last night. Yep, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, and it was like, I'm awake. And I can get back to sleep. And just, yeah. So I am extremely tired. I'm glad it's an early night. But are there going to be other errors on the board? Let us discover together. So that one's on a 4-on-2. Faravari from Wilson and Protas at 12:43, although it looks like Protasy. Let me just fix that again. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. Who do you think is going to get the number 1 draft pick? Who do you think is going to go to number 1? You think it's going to be a defenseman? Probably. Anyways, Protas is denied as the Caps press for another. Goalie pull happens with 2.5 minutes left, and then with 1:37 left, it becomes a 6-on-4. During the power play, Ottawa ties it. Tkachuk buries a rebound. Stützle and Sanderson with the assists at 18:52. Sandin is then down on a play after that. The referee's informed that he sucks because there was no penalty called. Then we go to overtime. Tied at 4. The Caps control early. There's too many Washington Capitals on the ice. The Sens get a power play. That's killed off. And then we go to a shootout. In the shootout, it is Dylan Strome with the winner. And the Caps survive a bit of a scare. They stop their losing streak at home. It ends at 3. They go to 39-14-8 with the shootout victory. With the 5-4 shootout loss, Ottawa 30-25-5. And they lose a little bit of ground on a couple of teams tonight. Shots on net, 19-11 Washington in the first, 14-12 Ottawa in the second, 9 apiece in the third, 3-1 Ottawa in the overtime. Final shots, 41-37 for Washington. Power plays, Ottawa 2 for 7, Washington 1 for 4. Hits were 21-10 for Ottawa. Ullmark saves 37 out of 41. Thompson, 33 saves on 37 shots. All right, next up. Buffalo in Montreal against the Montreal Canadiens. It'd be weird if they were in Montreal against, say, I don't know, Detroit. Anyways, Reimer versus Montembeault. Things get pushed in a hole by Reimer. The Habs come out of that with a power play. It's killed off. The shots are 4-0 Montreal at 4.5 minutes. A net feed to Newhook gets picked off. Sabres press at 7 minutes. The Habs go back to the power play. Caulfield fires one high on a net drive. And then at 9:42, Caulfield gets his 30th goal. Fantastic pass by Suzuki. Not the first time I've said that this year. Hudson with the other helper. So at 9:42 of the first period, Montreal's up 1-0. Then we get a power play for Buffalo. And at 11:41, Suzuki wires one on a 2-on-1 rush from Matheson. So it's 2-0 for Montreal at that stage of the game. And then the Habs finish the kill, which is important. We then get a power play for Montreal. And at 13:42, Slafkovsky scores on the power play from Suzuki and Hudson. Special teams, not the friend of the Buffalo Sabres tonight. The Habs then get a fourth power play. That's killed off, but it's 3-0 Montreal after one. Looks like we got a laugher on our hands. Second period, the Sabres press at 1.5 minutes. Buffalo draws a power play. That's killed off. Cousins has a rush chance. That's saved. Shots are 6-5 Buffalo at 8 minutes. Power has a slot shot that's held. There's more Sabres pressure at the half. Lafferty has a rush chance. That's saved. Jackeye has a breakaway that's defended. He doesn't actually get a shot away on it. Sabres press with 6 minutes left. We then get a power play for Buffalo. That's killed off. And at 18:07, Tuck buries a rebound on a rush. Cousins with the assist there. It's 3-1 after 2. Third period, Benson to Quinn gets blocked, and then at 3:24, Tage Thompson with another one of those heaters. Basically, if Montembeault got in the way, it would have gone through him. Peterka with the assist. So yeah, 3-2 for Montreal, but things getting a little tense. Habs get pinned down a bit as the Sabres are looking to tie it, but they're blocking the path to the net pretty well. The shots are only 3-2 for Buffalo, 7.5 minutes in. We then get a power play for Buffalo. During that, Quinn has a one-timer that's held. The power play's killed off. Habs press with 6.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Montreal. That's killed off. The goalie pull happens with 2 minutes left, and Buffalo would score. Darlene makes up for taking all the penalties tonight. He walks in and wires it. Peterka and Kulik with the assists at 18:59. Seriously, 3 of the penalties for Buffalo were Darlene's. So he ties it. We go to overtime. Overtime, the Habs ice it early. The fans call when the referee does not. And then at 1:21, Matheson scores to give the Habs their 5th win in a row. Slafkovsky and Suzuki with the assists. So it's a 4-3 overtime win for Montreal. They go to 30-26-5 with the win. With the overtime loss, Buffalo 24-29-6. Shots on net, 9-8 Buffalo in the first, 14-6 Buffalo in the second, 13-5 Buffalo in the third. Montreal had the only shot of the overtime. It's all they needed. Final shots, 36-20 for Buffalo. Power plays, Buffalo 0 for 4, Montreal 2 for 5. The hits, 37-20 for Buffalo. Reimer saves 16 out of 20. Montembeault, very good night for him, 33 saves on 36 shots. All right, last game on this board, Tampa Bay in Florida. If this ends up being a playoff series again this year, we're going to be very, very lucky. We're going to feel very blessed. So, it's Vasilevsky versus Bobrovsky, of course. The teams trade early rushes. Panthers press. They're kept to the outside. Kucherov to point. There's a near miss there. Then there's a delay game call. Gives the Bolts a power play. That one's killed off. 4 shots on net. So, Bobrovsky being tested a lot on that power play and showing that he was dialed in for the night. A. Simon has a screenshot that saved. The shots were 6-1 for the Lightning, 6.5 minutes in. Panthers press with 9.5 minutes left. Hedman then has a wrister that's caught and held as Tampa's getting some pressure. We get a power play for the Lightning. That's killed off. Seth Jones then has a net feed that's held. I thought Seth Jones had a good night tonight for Florida. Probably feels great. He doesn't have to be the top guy. Verhaeghe has a net drive chance. That's blocked. Panthers press in the final minute. It is scoreless after the first. Second period, early press by Florida. The teams trade turnovers. 3 minutes in, the shots are 3-0 for the Panthers. Seth Jones has a net drive chance that's saved. Reinhart then has a rush chance that's saved as well. Things get pushed in a hole by Vasilevsky. Hagel then has a rush chance that's held as both goaltenders very good in this one. And then at 9:02, on a good forecheck via turnover, Barkov roofs one. So it's turned over. Barkov with it, the most dangerous player for Florida. It's 1-0 for the Panthers. Panthers draw a power play. That becomes 4-on-4. The Bolts press with 9 minutes left during the 4-on-4, but everything ends up being killed off. The Panthers clear after that's done. Hedman fires one wide on a 3-on-2 opportunity. The Panthers press with 5.5 minutes left. We then get a power play for Florida, and they score in it. It is Barkov with his second goal of the period. Samoskevich and Ekblad with the assists at 15-16. Tampa presses. They draw a 4-minute power play with 3:56 left in the period. So that is killed off by Florida. And I felt confident putting that up there because it's not like a team's going to score in the first 4 seconds of the next period. So we roll over into the third period with Tampa behind 2-0 against Florida. But they weren't behind for long. At 2:07 point, buries a rebound in close. Radish with the assist, so that makes it a 2-1 score. Tightens things up. We get a power play for Tampa. That's killed off. Shots are 7-1 for the Lightning at 4.5 minutes. They dominated large stretches of this game, but so did Bobrovsky. Boquist couldn't bury one into an open net. The Panthers press with 9 minutes left. Asimont has a wrister. That's held. The Panthers press with 5 minutes left. We end up getting a power play for Florida. That leads to a shorthanded break by McDonough. He's denied there. That power play is killed off. The goalie pull happens with 1:10 left. It was a late goalie pull because Florida kept forechecking and not letting Tampa set anything up. Hedman blocks a Jones empty net goal attempt, so taking away the first goal that Seth Jones would have had as a Panther. Rude. 21.9 seconds left. The Bolts get a timeout with 9 seconds left. They get a power play to make it a 6-on-4. They do not score on it. Your final score is 2-1 for Florida. They go to 38-21-3 with the win. With the loss, Tampa Bay 35-21-4. Their winning streak's over, but they played very well. The chess magnets on the board because this game had 3 goals or less. Shots on net, 10-7 Tampa in the first, 11-7 Florida in the second, 12-11 Tampa in the third. Final shots, both teams had 29. Power plays, 0 for 7 for Tampa, 1 for 3 for Florida. The hits, 38-12 for Florida. Physical team, those Panthers. Vasilevsky, 27 saves on 29 shots. Bobrovsky, 28 saves on 29 shots. Once again, if we see this in the playoffs, I think we'll be pretty happy. All right, board number 2. All right, 3 games on this board as well. Starting with the Islanders and the Rangers. Sorokin versus Shesterkin. This is kind of a funny story. Shesterkin says that Sorokin's goalie goal. It's not a goal because he didn't score it. So he was credited as the last Islander that touched it. But he's like, yeah, that's not a goal. So anyways, the Islanders press at 2 minutes. He's kidding their friends. The shots are 2-1 for New York. The Islanders at 3.5 minutes. This game was tough for somebody who's got like severe issues with sleep deprivation because they're both New York. So that was kind of mean. Anyways, Brodzinski has a net feed that's picked off. Like when they were scheduling, they knew that was going to happen. Good forechecking by the Rangers. They end up drawing a power play. There was a shorthanded rush by Nelson. That chance is held. That power play is killed off. The Islanders then get a power play. That's killed off too. Anders Lee would score, but it's an offside challenge. And yep, and we didn't know how important that was, but the Islanders did not have a 1-0 lead. Rangers press with 8 minutes left. The shots are 5-3. Islanders with 6.5 minutes left. But at 15:03, Will Cooley puts one off his helmet. He headed it into the net. Not on purpose, but went off his helmet into the net. Jones and JT Miller with the assists. The Islanders press to respond. With 1:50 left, the Islanders get a power play. And at 19:15, Borgen gets a shorthanded goal. Carrick and Cooley with the assists. So it's 2-0 after the first for the Rangers. Second period, early press by the New York Rangers. I keep wanting to say New York. Wouldn't it be great if I just said New York the whole way through and people are like, what is he? Which New York? The only shot on net was for the Islanders at 4.5 minutes. Almost said New York again. We get a power play for the Rangers. That's killed off. The Rangers press after. I'm just going to go to sleep after this is done. I might just lay down on the floor here and just, Yvonne can come in and put a blanket over me. Cizikas then has an end-to-end rush. That chance is saved. Teams trade turnovers. The shots are 5-3 Rangers with 8.5 minutes left. Rangers blocking the path to the net. You know what's interesting to me with the Rangers? Their defense, it's night and day between the way it was before the Four Nations break and after the Four Nations break. This team now looks just as good as they did for large stretches of last season. These guys get a playoff spot. They're going to be really, really dangerous in the first round. So, we get a power play for the Islanders. There's a shorthanded rush by Cooley. Power play's killed off. No shots for the Islanders. It stays 2-0 Rangers after 2. Third period. Early press by the Rangers. The shots are 5-0 for the Rangers at 3 minutes. And at 3:43, JT Miller buries what's the 6th shot of the period for the Rangers. The Islanders had 0. Panarin had the assist there. It makes it 3-0 for the Rangers. Rangers press at 7 minutes. The Islanders press. They're kept to the outside. JT Miller has a one-timer that's kicked aside. The goalie pull happens with 7 minutes and 37 seconds left. Hey, Patrick was not shy about pulling the goalie early. Things get pushy on a hold by Igor, and then at 14:51, Panarin hits the empty net. Lafreniere and Trocheck with the assist, and then the Rangers made me proud. They pressed with 2.5 minutes left. When you're trying to protect a goaltender's shutout, do it at the other end of the ice. 4-0 win for the New York Rangers. The Tony the Tiger Magnets on the board because Shesterkin was great. That's back-to-back shutouts for the Rangers. Quick had the last one. Shesterkin had this one. So with the win, the Rangers go to 31-26-4, and they tie Detroit for that number 2 wildcard spot. The Islanders 27-26-7 with the loss. This one hurts. They lose ground on teams that they're trying to chase down. I think Friday, I get the feeling that Lou's probably going to do a sell because I don't think the Islanders are going to make it. Shots on net, 8-6 Islanders in the first, 6 apiece in the second, 14-7 Rangers in the third. Final shots, 26-21 in favor of the Rangers. Power plays, the Islanders 0 for 3, the Rangers 0 for 2. The hits, 24-21 Rangers. Sorokin saved 22 out of 25. Shesterkin saved all 21 for the shutout tonight. And they kind of protected him in the third period. Unlike Quick in the last one, where Quick had to save a whole bunch of shots against Nashville, it was a much easier night for Shesterkin. So there you go. All right, next up, San Jose and Toronto. So it was Georgiev at one end and Stolarz at the other. Not that I ever wrote it in. And I was thinking about it when that game was getting started. Like, okay, I got to write in who the starter is for Toronto. Did I? Nah. Have I forgot that at all this season? Nah. So sleep deprivation strikes again. All right, the teams trade early rushes. Tavares has a rush chance to block. You know, my wife says I have too many markers in these. I don't know what she's talking about. Tavares has a rush chance. That's blocked. The shots are 3-2 for the Leafs at 4 minutes. We get a power play for San Jose. Near miss by Will Smith during that. That power play's killed off. The Sharks press after it's done. Robertson's denies the Leafs get some pressure. We get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. The Sharks press with 6 minutes left. McMahon fans on a slot shot. We had a fight between Ferraro and Myers. The Leafs get a power play. That's killed off. It's 0-0 after 1. Second period. Early press by Toronto. No shots on net 3 minutes in. We then get a power play for the Sharks. That's killed off. 1 shot on net on that one. Cunnin then has a chance that's caught and held. The shots are 3-0 San Jose at 5.5 minutes. And it's right around here that I'm saying, what's going on here? Why? Like, they can't, right? Like, San Jose can't, right? Anyways, the Leafs press at 6 minutes. The Sharks get pinned down, but they're blocking the net. However, Toronto does draw a power play, and they score on it. Tavares tips into net feed. Marner and Nylander with the assists at 8:28. Domi then gets denied on a fast break. Nylander's denied as the Leafs get some pressure. The Leafs get some more pressure with 3 minutes left, so they're taking over the game, and with 1:20 left, we get a power play for Toronto. And another goal in closing seconds, and of course it's Matthew Knies. At 19:55, he buries one from the doorstep, so both of these goals were very close to the net. No chance for Georgiev on either of them. Matthews and Tavares with the assists. On that one, it's 2-0 Toronto after 1. So you have a 2-goal lead against San Jose, the worst team in the league. You're at home. Easy peasy. Well, at 2:23 off of a weird bounce off the boards, it goes right to Jack Thompson, and he buries it. Wenberg and Eklund with the assists. So at 2:23, all of a sudden, things get a little bit tense in Toronto. I wanted to say Maple Leaf Gardens. Can we just change its name back to Maple Leaf Gardens? I don't care if this one was never Maple Leaf Gardens. It just sounds better. Shots are 2-0 Sharks at 4 minutes. Yeah, I'm a grumpy old man tonight. Deal with it. The Leafs press at 4.5 minutes. The teams trade rushes. Celebrini has a net drive chance that's held. The Sharks press at 8.5 minutes. And Toffoli buries one in close to tie it at 10 minutes and 10 seconds from Wenberg and Mahatmadulin. So that's where the shock alarm is not on the board, but it probably should have been. The Sharks press with 8 minutes left. The shots are 6-1 San Jose with 7 minutes left. Eventually, we go to overtime. It was pretty obvious we were going overtime. There weren't a lot of chances late. I think San Jose wanted the point. So we get a full Leafs power play to start. San Jose took a penalty with about 10 seconds left, but they didn't get the puck back. So the full power play starts the overtime, and my thought process was, well, Toronto's going to win this, but at least San Jose gets a point out of it. Nylander has a shot that's held. That power play was killed off. 3 shots on net. Matthews is denied. Georgiev holds on. Stolarz then denied Will Smith to close out the overtime. We go to a shootout. And in the shootout, it's Zetterlund with the winner, San Jose. Shocker. They win in Toronto, 3-2 in a shootout. They go to 16-37-9. Hey, the dream of them winning 20 games is still alive. The Toronto Maple Leafs 38-20-3 with the overtime loss, and they lose ground on Florida tonight. Shots on net, 10-7 Toronto in the first, 11-3 Toronto in the second, and then I don't know what happened here. 9-2 San Jose in the third, and then 4-3 Toronto in the overtime. Final shots, 27-22 for the Leafs. Power plays, San Jose over 2, Toronto 2 for 5. The hits 31-22 San Jose. Georgiev saves 25 out of 27. One of his better starts this year, to be honest. And Stolar's 20 saves on 22 shots at the other end. All right, last game of the night. LA and Chicago, and the surprises keep on coming. So it's Kemper versus Knight, Spencer Knight. I did see some people saying I'm not sure why Chicago needed a goaltender. I present to you Spencer Knight. He's a very good goaltender. Kings press at 2 minutes. In fact, the shots were 4-0 LA at 3.5 minutes. This is where Spencer Knight's keeping it scoreless. Fogel's denied and close. I really thought he was going to score there. Knight, really busy and good in the first 5 minutes. Very, very busy. Power play for Chicago, that's killed off. The Hawks press at the half, and at 10:57, Martinez wires one past the screen from the point. Bertuzzi with the assist. It is 1-0 Chicago at that stage. The Hawks press for another, but at 11:39 on a rush, Kopitar buries one from the slot. Turcotte and Kempe with the assists. And so it's a 1-1 tie. It looked like maybe this game was going to be really high scoring. Byfield's then denied and close as the Kings are looking for the lead. The Hawks go back to the power play. That's killed off. It's 1-1 after the first. Second period, Donato has a rush chance that saved, and then at 46 seconds, on a cross-crease pass, Mikheyev buries one. Teravainen and Donato with the assists. Chicago has the lead back at 2-1. The shots are 5-0 Chicago at 3 minutes. Teravainen's denied on a rush. We get a power play for the Kings. That's killed off. The Hawks press with 8.5 minutes left. The teams trade turnovers. And then at 13:28, Del Mastro puts one in off Movarara's skate in front of the net. Maroon and Reichel with the assists. It's a 2-goal lead for Chicago at 3-1. Hawks press with 3 minutes left. The Kings press in the final minute. It's 3-1 for Chicago after 2. Third period, early press by the Kings. And then at 1:20 on a turnover forced by Colton Dach, he gets the puck to Athanasiou. Athanasiou scores. Dach with the assist at 1:20. So Athanasiou's trade value might be going up just a little bit. He had a good game tonight. The Hawks look for another. The shots are only 2 apiece, though, at 6 minutes. The Kings press at 7.5 minutes. Momentum's building for the Kings. And I know it's a 3-goal lead for Chicago, but we know that Chicago can allow goals in bunches. They didn't tonight, but we know that they can. So things get pushed in a hole by Knight. Athanasiou has a rush chance. That's defended. And Donato hits both posts on a rush. The horn sounded, the smoke show's going, a little bit of Chelsea dagger gets started. Puck didn't go in. The crowd was chanting goal. No, it wasn't. So yeah, the horn sounded, everything. Then Spence has a shot that's held. There's more pushing there. Goalie pull happens with 3 minutes left, and at 18:30, Donato scores into the empty net from Mikheyev and Teravainen. So Donato makes up for hitting those posts by getting the next one in the net when he had a chance. And after the game, they interviewed Spencer Knight. He was just beaming, absolutely beaming. He's excited to be in Chicago, and that's a good thing. So the final score, 5-1, and the early returns from that trade, I think both Florida and Chicago were happy with what they saw tonight. Chicago goes to 19-35-7 with the win, just on the verge of 20 wins. LA 31-20-8. It is alarming how bad LA is on the road, comparatively speaking, with how good they are at home. It is just so strange to see. Shots on net, 17-7 LA in the first, 9 apiece in the second, 16-3 LA in the third, or they got goalied, right? There you go. Final shots, 42-19 for LA. I just never got the feeling LA was coming back. I really didn't. I had no, they had all this pressure and all these shots, and I was like, they're not going to score. Power plays 0-for-1 for LA, 0-for-2 for Chicago. The hits 13-11 for LA. Kemper saved 14 out of 18. Rough stat line for him. And Spencer Knight, 41 saves on 42 shots. As much as I like Soderblom, I think he's been good this year. Spencer Knight is an upgrade on Soderblom. He is better than Mrazek, and obviously more NHL ready than Comesso. So I think the Hawks did a good job here, and we'll see how Knight does the rest of the season. I think it's great too that he volunteered to play tonight. That they're like, hey, you just got here if you need a day, and he's like, nope, put me in the net. Great, perfect, love that attitude. We'll see how things go the rest of the season for Chicago and Knight. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again tomorrow. I'm not doing any more videos tonight. I'm going to go have a lay down. I'll talk to you again soon.